One question lang kung about sa vending machine. Kasya ba kaya sa isang 1 liter bottle ng Coke or Pepsi sa isang vending machine? Kasya kaya yun? Pwede ba naman candy, di ba? Candy naman is like mga Mentos, mga Tic Tac, pwede naman. Which is also considered as a vending machine. So yes, it's also being included.
It's Friday then. It's Saturday, Sunday. What? It's Friday then. Saturday, Sunday. What? Yeah, it's okay.
What's up? This is Jeff. Welcome to Jeff's podcast. Today we're talking about one of the weirdest isekai shows that have been made in media. And no, we're not talking about being a superhero or a supervillain or even heading out into a different role like being a knight in shining armor, being a kind of job like a swordsman, archery, spear, or something. And yes, we're talking about being an item like a weapon or even an underwear. Um, Underwear is not included on the list. So today we're talking about being a vending machine. Being a vending machine is getting weirder, and Japan is the largest number of vending machines, ranging from drinks such as soft drinks, teas, energy drinks, and drinking water, and even noodles, souvenirs, and of course, pizza. But also include other items such as a rifle. A rifle? Well, that's too big for a vending machine, and even of course a 1.5 liter of Coke, 1 liter of bottle of sake, or any kind of 1 liter, mga 1 liter box ng juice or something. Okay, I found it on the Japan Water Travel website that the list of Japanese vending machines, which include getting weirder but also yet tasty. So today we're talking about Reborn as a vending machine. I now wanted the dungeon. One question lang kung about sa vending machine. Kasya ba kaya sa isang 1 liter bottle ng Coke or Pepsi sa isang vending machine? Kasya kaya yun? Pwede ba naman candy, di ba? Candy naman is like mga Mentos, mga Tic Tac, pwede naman. Which is also considered as a vending machine. So yes, it's also being included. Reborn as a vending machine, I now wanted the dungeon, also known as Jido Hanbaiki ni Omareka Wata Orewa Miki ni Samayo, is a Japanese light novel series written by Hirukuma and illustrations by Itsuwa Kato. Before the start of the topic, I already took photos of vending machines around the streets of Manila, including the SM Mega Mall parking lot, the Glorieta Mall, and even of course, Pico de Lo in Batangas. Vending machines can be found anywhere. How does the story make? Hirokuma describes his envisioning and road to publishing the series. He at first helped out with his father's independent business, though. After the death of his father from a high fall, he closed down the business and began pursuing his ambition as a writer. He described his father's death as giving him acrophobia and recalled thinking, I don't know when I'm going to die like my father did. One question went through my mind, have I done everything I wanted to do in life? On a site titled Let's Become Novelist, aside for submitting novels, he submitted several works of fiction including another isekai piece and a battle-themed novel set in the near future, but was initially unsuccessful. He described Reborn as a vending machine as his final effort after 4 years of unsuccessfully getting his novels published. Hirokuma wrote that it is fantastical and original and one that he wanted to write. This wasn't a novel where he adjusted for the reader's needs or had to think long and hard about constructing a plot. Instead, he pursued his own style and it garnered the most popularity for his work. So, Hirokuma discovered that his father is working on his independent business though. Although he heard the news that he passed away due to a falling accident, and he thinking about what kind of accident they had. Mostly vending machines. But not just only vending machines, but also high places like hanging up the ceiling, using a ladder, Or even you saw some of the high flying moves as seen in wrestling like AEW and WWE in a different kind of ladder matches. Reborn as a Vending Machine, I Now Wander the Dungeon was published in Let's Become Novelist or Shoshetsuka ni Naro, written by Hirokuma from March 2016 to December 2018, and published a light novel written by Hirokuma himself and also illustrations by Itsuwa Kato, published in Kadokawa Shoten's Sneaker Bunko from August 2016 to February 2017, and released in 3 book volumes. It was adapted into a manga series drawn by Kunieda in ACI Media Works' Dengeki Daio magazine from August 2021 and released in 2 book volumes. The story centers on an unnamed protagonist who is crushed to death by a falling vending machine. Then, he finds himself reincarnated in a fantasy world dungeon as a sentient vending machine. He can see and hear but is immobile, with his speech being limited to stock Japanese vending machine phrases. As a vending machine, he discovers that he can dispense any item he has bought in his previous life and can convert such sales to points, thus sustaining his existence. He is also able to use excess coins to add additional features to his vending machine body and is able to choose which item he stocks or the prices of the item and use some magical abilities, including a defensive force field. He encounters Lamis, a young busty female who is a hunter. She has a skill known as the Blessing of Might, which makes her ridiculously strong, but is still a novice at managing her own strength. The two quickly become friends after he dispenses some food items to the hungry Lamis, calling him Boxo. She starts carrying him around on her back, which allows Boxo to move, with his weight allowing her to more easily control her strength. My thoughts for watching the Vending Machine anime is definitely fun to watch. I've been watching isekai shows for quite some time and things are getting out of hand watching the isekai genre. Instead of becoming a swordsman, a gunner, a priest, or something, then there's one occupation that you're going to look at it. You'll become an item. Any item ranging from weapons to potions or even plants. It's not a bad concept because isekai at this point needs to be over the top if it's going to make an impression. And how a sentient vending machine with a brain but no legs and limited vocal talents manages to survive is a decent question on which to base a plot. It's easy to see why. When the current isekai trend was starting up, this light novel series became a popular reference point. Everything about the premise feels like the logical conclusion of driving this particular subgenre to its goofiest, most comical extremes. Its greatest joke was simply existing, being a title everyone could point to and ironically called the peak of the genre. The punchline, of course, was that it was a relatively short series with a premise too absurd to turn into an actual product, and treating it like one would be akin to making Kick Puncher from Community into a real movie franchise. I'm going to declare that this show has officially reached the peak of isekai absurdity. I'm going to put it on the list of the strangest isekai deaths. The show's bizarre concept is what will catch people's attention, but the writing is good enough to keep it. These characters are impressive and not having to resort to hackneyed gimmicks. So there you have it to watch Reborn as a Vending Machine I Now Wander the Dungeon, which streams on Crunchyroll every Wednesday. And I'm going to give a shout out to myself for taking a photo of vending machines around the metro. So you might better check it out at the nearest location where you can find the biggest selection of vending machines, ranging from drinks to energy drinks or even soft drinks. Snacks is also counted as a vending machine, like mga clover chips or even chocolate bars like Snickers. So if you want to see the vending machine of yourself, you should go check it out. If you have comments or suggestions, you can post them on the official Facebook page of Jeff's podcast, which is facebook.com/Manchester News, YouTube, which is youtube.com/Skifferboy, and also on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, which is Jeff11 Manchester. Well, that's about it for Jeff's podcast. This is Jeff. I'll see you in the next podcast. As an added bonus, I'm going to do a box saw from Reborn as a vending machine, and I have my scribble board. I have my scribble board right there, and also my pen. I have to borrow Muna for instead, so here goes. I'm going to do a box saw for himself. I know it's crazy about how to do using a scribble pen and the scribble board, pero medyo madulas and also causing smudges. So here goes.